Jack Whitehall, and you join me live here in Graz, Austria, for the launch of Jaguar's first ever electric vehicle, the new Jaguar I-Pace. We're here because this is the epicenter in the field of hydroelectric power in the EU. You didn't think Graz could get better, it just did. Would you please welcome award-winning motoring journalist and broadcaster, Johnny Smith.
I'm joined by Ian Callum to take a closer look around the new Jaguar I-Pace. So this is your newest baby.
It is.
Right? And it's fair to say that it is unconventional for a Jag. Long bonnet. Where's that gone?
Yeah, long bonnets. We had long bonnets because we had big engines.
Okay.
Big V8s or 6 cylinders. There is no engine in the front of this except a small electric motor sitting between the wheels. So we can have a short bonnet. And the great thing about that, of course, is it gives all the rest of the room over to the occupants.
It's quite aero efficient.
A lot of physics in this car, I have to tell you. There's the airflow comes through this vent here at the front, off the front, flows over the roof, perfectly formed roof to hold onto the air, and then through to the back.
Take me through this, because obviously this is the place where you live in a car, so the cockpit's all important.
It is, you know, it's got more space than it said before of a car of its size, but the great thing we've been working on is the amount of usable space and the practicality.
Is it fair to say that this is as radical as the XJ was?
Yes, I think this car, the XJ was a very radical car in 1968. This car is just as radical now as that was then.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ian.
As you can see, Ian is back now with me in one of his beautifully designed chairs. We have had lots of questions coming in. What is your favourite thing about the I-Pace?
I love the overall shape of the car. It's quite distinctive, it's quite different, it's quite radical. And of course, the fact it is electric.
How much has it changed from the original concept car to what we see here?
Actually, very little, a few millimetres here and there, but overall, this does represent the concept car.
How difficult is it building a car's shape around a battery rather than an engine?
It's actually much simpler, to be honest with you, because you have much more freedom. You don't have to worry about these great big lumps of metal we used to deal with, so it's actually a little easier.
Yeah. How different is it driving a battery version without the engine roar?
Well, you know, Jaguars have been known for the roar of their V8s and straight sixes, but also there's a serenity in Jaguar's history as well. This car is full of serenity and quietness, and it's a wonderful place to be.
I'm now joined by Jaguar's vehicle line director, Ian Hoban. Firstly, what is a vehicle line director?
Hundreds, thousands of engineers have put their heart and soul into this car, and I am incredibly privileged to lead that team of engineers.
First up, in the absence of an engine, what makes this car go?
That'll be the 2 electric motors, one motor on the front axle and one on the rear.
How far does it go on a charge?
So on a single charge, I-Pace will go 480 kilometers. That's almost 300 miles.
How long does it take to charge at home?
So at home, it will charge in just over 12 hours from completely empty to completely full.
I think customer perception currently is at a tipping point. So there were a lot of reservations in the past. Customers had range, charging, and these are about to be resolved now. Range is covering more or less what a normal driver needs. And also charging will be solved within the next years with a charging network of high enough density so that everybody can charge. Yeah, well, the battery management system to me, is the core of an electric car. And that's all the know-how is within that battery management system, in particular the software. That was the reason why we decided early in the project that this software has to be developed within Jaguar Land Rover, and not delegated to some supplier. Battery management is very much in between electricity, chemistry, so everything comes together. You must understand how the cell behaves, how the cell feels. You must keep the battery out of critical areas. So it's very much something interdisciplinary between chemistry and electricity.
The Jaguar I-Pace is Jaguar's first ever battery-powered electric vehicle, the start of a new chapter in the history of our legendary brand. When we showed the I-Pace concept back in 2016, we purposely avoided using the traditional Jaguar CX prefix because we knew it would be close to the production version. We've effectively built the concept car. The I-Pace is undoubtedly a car with attitude. Even though it's a practical SUV, it is at the same time progressive with its exciting proportions and sleek coupe-like silhouette, taking inspiration from the dramatic CX-75 supercar. The nature of designing a BEV meant that we could start with a clean sheet of paper, without the restraint of an engine under the bonnet, instead a battery pack between the wheels and motors on each axle. We had the opportunity to change the fundamental proportions of an SUV. The result is a very cab-forward design with an airy and spacious interior. From the front, the I-Pace is instantly recognisable as a Jaguar. Matrix LED headlamps incorporate our distinctive double J graphic. Aerodynamic performance has been considered in great detail, especially at the front. This is reflected in the design of the front grille and bonnet scoop, which channels the airflow to enhance cooling and the aerodynamics. In profile, the I-Pace has a long wheelbase relative to its overall length, which allowed us to move the front seats forward. The cab-forward design contrasts the squared-off tail, again optimising aerodynamics. Flush door handles preserve the clean lines of the exterior. Inside, we kept closely to the concept interior. I'm a great believer in tactile controls, natural, intuitive rotaries, rather than just touchscreens and voice control. So we've incorporated a mix of these into advanced flight deck. The Jaguar I-Pace is also extremely practical inside, thanks to its electric architecture. For example, the absence of the transmission tunnel meant that we could include a 10-litre stowage compartment in the front, and with a near-flat floor in the rear. Combined with a panoramic roof which floods the interior with natural light and rear legroom of 890mm, the I-Pace interior feels incredibly spacious. The result? An SUV with character, designed from first principles and a clean sheet, combining beautiful, distinctive design and state-of-the-art technology.